A reading from the book of the prophet Malachi, chapter 1. A proclamation. The word of the Lord to Israel through Malachi. The love of the Lord for Israel. I have loved you, says the Lord. But you ask, how have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Declares the Lord. Even so, I loved Jacob, but I hated Esau. I turned his mountains into a desert and his heritage into a desert for jackals. If Edom says, we have been struck down, but we shall rebuild our ruins, the Lord Sabaoth says this, let them build, but I shall pull it down. They will be known as land of wickedness and nation with which the Lord is angry forever. You will see this yourselves, and you will say, the Lord is mighty beyond the borders of Israel. An indictment of the priests. The son honors the father, and the slave honors the master. But if I am indeed father, where is the honor due to me? And if I am indeed master, where is the awe due to me? Says the Lord Sabaoth, to you priests who despise my name. You ask, how have we despised your name? By putting polluted food on my altar. You ask, how have we polluted you? By thinking the table of the Lord deserves no respect. When you bring blind animals for sacrifice, is this not wrong? When you bring the lame and the diseased, is this not wrong? If you offer them to your governor, see if he is pleased with them or receives you graciously, says the Lord Sabaoth. And now, entreat God to take pity on us. That is what you have done. And will he take any notice? Says the Lord Sabaoth. Who among you will close the doors and so stop the pointless lighting of fires on my altar? I am not pleased with you, says the Lord Sabaoth. From your hands I find no offerings acceptable. For from the rising of the sun to its setting, my name is great among the nations, and everywhere incense and a pure gift are offered to my name, since my name is great among the nations, says the Lord Sabaoth. But you have profaned it by saying, the table of the Lord is polluted, hence the food offered on it deserves no respect. You say, how tiresome it all is, and sniff disdainfully at me, says the Lord Sabaoth. You bring a stolen, lame or diseased animal, you bring that as an offering. Am I to accept this from you? Says the Lord Sabaoth. Cursed be the cheat who has a male in his flock and vows it, but sacrifices to me a blemished animal. For I am a great king, says the Lord Sabaoth, and among the nations my name is revered. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of the prophet Malachi, chapter 2. And now, priests, this commandment is for you. If you will not listen, if you will not lay it to heart, to glorify my name, says the Lord Sabaoth, I shall certainly lay a curse on you, and I shall curse your blessing. Indeed, I have already laid this curse, for none of you takes it to heart. Now I am going to rebuke your offspring and throw offal in your faces, the offal of your solemn feasts, and sweep you away with it. Then you will know that I sent this commandment to you to maintain my covenant with Levi, says the Lord Sabaoth. My covenant with him was a covenant of life and peace, and these I gave him, a covenant of respect, and he respected me and held my name in awe. The law of truth was in his mouth, and guilt was not found on his lips. He walked in peace and righteousness with me, and he converted many from sinning. The priest's lips ought to safeguard knowledge. His mouth is where the law should be sought, since he is the messenger of the Lord Sabaoth. But you yourselves have turned aside from the way. You have caused many to lapse by your teaching. Since you have corrupted the covenant of Levi, says the Lord Sabaoth, so I, in my turn, have made you contemptible and vile to the whole people, for not having kept my ways and for being partial in applying the law. Mixed marriage and divorce. Is there not one Father of us all? Did not one God create us? Why then do we break faith with one another by profaning the covenant of our ancestors? Judah has broken faith. A detestable thing has been done in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah has profaned the Lord's beloved sanctuary. He has married the daughter of an alien god. As for such an offender, may the Lord deprive him of any witness or advocate in the tents of Jacob, among those who present offerings to the Lord Sabaoth. And here is something else you do. You cover the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping and wailing, because he now refuses to consider the offering or to accept it from you. And you ask, why? Because the Lord stands as witness between you and the wife of your youth, with whom you have broken faith, even though she was your partner and your wife by covenant. Did he not create a single being, and both flesh and spirit are his? And what does this single being seek? God-given offspring. Have respect for your own life then, and do not break faith with the wife of your youth. For I hate divorce, says the Lord, God of Israel, and people concealing their cruelty under a cloak, says the Lord Sabaoth. Have respect for your own life then, and do not break faith. The day of the Lord. You have wearied the Lord with your talk. You ask, how have we wearied him? When you say, any evildoer is good in the eyes of the Lord. Indeed, he is delighted with them. Or when you say, where is the God of fair judgment? The word of the Lord.